Sergeant, ring the quorum bell.
Well, the quorum bell is now on at the National Assembly at the commencement of business this morning, as directed by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Wetangula, currently presiding over the business of the House this morning. That quorum directive has been given pursuant to the House standing orders that guides the House on matters quorum at the commencement of business, standing order number 34. And with all indications from the Sergeant at Arms is that the quorum has been attained. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Order, honorable member, take your seat. Mama Pareyo, take your seat. Honorable members, Happy New Year. I take this opportunity to welcome you to this special sitting, which has been convened pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 29.3, relating to the procedure for convening special sittings of the House during recess. As you will recall, the House proceeded on its long recess on 6 December 2024, in line with the approved calendar of regular sittings 2024. With this in mind, I wish to report to the House that on 3rd January 2025, I received a request from the leader of the majority party that I appoint today, Thursday, 16th January 2024, as a day for special sittings of the National Assembly. Honorable members, I duly consider the business proposed to be transacted and assented to the request. Consequently, and in keeping with the requirements of Standing Order 29, I gazetted today's special sittings commencing at 10 a.m. for the morning sitting and 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting via Kenya Gazette Notice number 110 of 10th January 2025. Honorable members will note that the business to be transacted was specified in the said Gazette Notice. Further, we did a notification to all members and the general public in the local dailies on 8th January 2025, and in this regard, the sittings of the House for this morning and afternoon are properly convened. As we commence the sittings, honorable members, permit me, on my own behalf and on behalf of my brother, the Honorable Tim Wanyonyi, MP of Westlands, the large extended family of my dear father, Mr. Dominic Wetangula, to express our heartfelt gratitude to the leadership of Parliament, members of the Parliamentary Service Commission, all honorable members of Parliament and parliamentary staff for the immense and invaluable support you accorded us following the passing on of our matriarch, Mama Anna Nanyama Wetangula. We also thank you most sincerely for your continuous presence and overwhelming words of comfort, for turning up in large numbers alongside His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, during the final send-off of our mama in Mhoya village, Kabuchai constituency, Bungoma County on 3rd January 2025. The tremendous outpouring of support also extended outside the boundaries of the Republic. The presence and kind words of my distinguished colleague speakers and their delegations from Uganda, Tanzania, the Republic of South Sudan, and the East African Legislative Assembly embodied the true spirit of the oneness of our region. As a family, we are forever grateful and remain indebted to you. Your immense support has left an indelible mark on our hearts. Words are not and will never be enough to express our gratitude to all of you. We continue to pray that the Almighty God will bless each one of you, and that in your hour of need, may you not lack a brother or a sister to walk that difficult road with you. I thank you. Pardon? What is it? Who?
Order number 3, messages.
Members, before the next order, allow me to give the member for Westlands, Tim Wanyonyi, 1 minute to just buttress what I have said. Tim?
Hello? Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like also to echo what you have said, and wish to thank the honorable members of this House who came in large numbers and also made financial contribution towards the funeral of our mother, and to the people of Nairobi, people of Westlands who came in 10 buses to come and condole with us, and all our friends coming from all walks of life. It was such a very, very touching moment. And particularly, I also want to side out the Deputy Speaker who was there handy and helping, even managing and helping to arrange security and all protocol that was observed on that day. And also extend our gratitude to the President, the bishops of Bungoma Diocese, the retired Bishop Solumet and Crowley of Kitale, and a Bishop of Kitale Diocese who turned up for the funeral. Our mother received a very befitting send-off, and we praise God and thank Him for the good and kind words that we received from all who came to condole with us. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, Kenyans. Thank you for everybody who came to give our mother a send-off. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Order, honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Member in the walkway, Mombasa Raha, take your seat. Honorable members, I have a message from the President on the nomination of persons for appointment to various offices. Honorable members, Standing Order 42 provides that if a message is received from the President, I wish to report to the House that during recess, I received 3 messages from His Excellency the President relating to nomination of persons as Cabinet Secretaries, High Commissioner, Ambassador, Permanent Representative, and Consul General are nominees for appointment as the Vice Chairperson and members of the Public Service Commission. The first message, honorable members, conveyed that His Excellency the President, in exercise of powers conferred on him by Article 152(2) of the Constitution, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, nominates 1. Honorable Mutai Kagwe for appointment as the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development. 2. Honorable Lee Kinyanjui for appointment as the Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry. And 3. Honorable William Kabogo for appointment as the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communications and the Digital Economy. For clarity, Article 152(2) of the Constitution states, and I quote, "The President shall nominate and with the approval of the National Assembly appoint Cabinet Secretaries." Honorable members, in the second message, His Excellency the President conveyed that in exercise of powers conferred on him by Article 132(2)(e) of the Constitution as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, he nominates the following persons as High Commissioner, Ambassador, Permanent Representative, and Consul General. A. Margaret Nyambura, High Commissioner, Accra, Ghana. B. Andrew Karanja, Ambassador, Brasilia, Brazil. C. Honorable Ababu Namwamba, EGH, Permanent Representative of Kenya to the United Nations Environmental Programme, UNEP, United Nations Office at Nairobi, UNON. And D. Mr. Noor Gabo, CBS, Consul General, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. In the third message, honorable members, His Excellency the President conveyed that in exercise of powers conferred on him by Article 2332 and 252 of the Constitution as read together with the first schedule of the Public Service Commission Act, Cap 185, and Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, he nominates A. Mrs. Mary Wanjira Kimonye, CBS, as the Vice Chairperson of the Public Service Commission, and B. the following as members of the Public Service Commission. 1. Harun Maalim Hassan, EBS, PWD. 2. Ms. Mwanamaka Amani Mabruki, CBS. 3. Mr. Francis Major. 4. Dr. Irene Cherotich Asienga, OGW. 5. Mr. Bonaya Molu, EBS. 6. Ms. Joan Andisi Machayo, OGW. And 7. Dr. Francis Otieno Owino, CBS. Honorable members, His Excellency the President therefore sought the approval of the House of the various nominees for appointment to the respective positions. Standing Order 45 provides that upon receipt of notification of nomination for appointment, such nomination shall stand committed to the relevant committee of the House for consideration. Accordingly, honorable members, via notification number 7 of 2024 dated 20th December 2024, I transmitted the messages from His Excellency the President to all members and referred the messages together with the CVs, the reports of the respective selection panels, and other testimonials of the nominees to the respective committees as follows. One, Cabinet Secretaries to the Committee on Appointments. 2, High Commissioner, Ambassador, Permanent Rep, and Consul General to the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations. And 3, Vice Chairperson and members of the Public Service Commission to the Departmental Committee on Labor. Honorable members, in the notification, I directed the committees to immediately commence the approval processes and notify the nominees and the general public of the time and place for holding the approval hearings. I further directed that the committees conclude and submit their respective reports by close of business on 15th January 2025. Honorable members, I'm aware that the committees have since concluded their work and should therefore table their reports during this morning's sitting to enable the House to consider the matters within the statutory timelines. The House is accordingly informed, and I thank you. Next.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader. Yes, Honorable Naomi Wako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, January 16th, 2025, morning sitting. The following legal notice and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. Number 1, legal notice number 187 of 2024 relating to the prevention of terrorism implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on suppression and disruption of proliferation financing amendment regulation 2024, and 2, legal notice number 188 of 2024 relating to the prevention of terrorism implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on suppression of terrorism regulations 2024. Number 2, recommendations concerning the fourth basis for revenue sharing among county government for financial years 2025, 2026, 2029/30 from the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor. Majority Leader Ichungwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 16 January 2025. The fourth report of the Committee on Appointments on the approval hearings of nominees for appointment as Cabinet Secretaries. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor. Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 16th January of 2025. Report of the Departmental Committee on Labor on the vetting of nominees for appointment as Vice Chairperson and members of the Public Service Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Select Committee on Appointments. You have already done so. Do you have another paper? Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Nelson Koech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 16 January 2026. That is a report of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on its vetting of nominees for appointment as ambassador, permanent representatives and consul general. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Labor in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as Vice Chairperson and as members of the Public Service Commission, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 16 January of 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 233(2) of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Public Service Commission. 1, Mrs. Mary Wanjira Kimonye, CBS, Vice Chairperson. 2, Mr. Harun Malim Hassan, Member. 3, Ms. Mwanamaka Amani Mabruki, CBS, Member. 4, Mr. Francis Major, Member. 5, Dr. Irene Cherotich Asiega, Member. Number 6, Mr. Mboya Molu, EBS, Member. 7, Ms. Joan Andisi Machayo, Member. And number 8, Dr. Francis Otieno Owino, CBS, Member. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice to the following motion, that taking into consideration the findings of the Committee on Appointments in its 4th report on the approval hearings of nominees for appointment as Cabinet Secretaries, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 16 January 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 152(2) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves the appointment of the following persons as Cabinet Secretaries. 1, the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, EGH, in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. 2, the Honorable William Kavogo, Information, Communication and Digital Economy. 3, the Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, in the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations in its report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as Ambassador, Permanent Representatives and Consul General, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 16 January 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 132C of the Constitution, Section 22 of the Foreign Service Act, Cap 18, 185E, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves the appointment of number 1, Dr. Andrew Muia Karanja as the Ambassador, Brasilia, Brazil. Number 2, Honorable Babu Namwamba, EGH, as a Permanent Representative, United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, stroke United Nations Office at Nairobi, Union. And number 3, Mr. Nu Yaro Gabo, CBS, as a Consul General, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Startup Bill, Senate Bill number 14 of 2022. Question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Order. Honorable members, I'm satisfied there's quorum to put question at order number 8, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Startup Bill, Senate Bill number 14 of 2022, up to clause 27, and seek leave to sit again. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, so that will come at the Committee of the Whole after order number 9. Next order.
Order number 9, special motion. Consideration of nominees for appointment to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Committee on Labor.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following special motion that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Labor in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26th November 2024, and pursuant to Article 230 of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of 1. Mr. Sami Chepkwony as the chairperson of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and the following nominees as members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to represent the specified institutions. 1. Major General Retired Martin Kizito Ongonyi, CBS, as nominee of the Defense Council. 2. Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi as a nominee of the Senate on behalf of the county government. 3. Ms. Jane Kataka Jage as a nominee of the Teacher Service Commission. 4. Dr. Gilda Odera as a nominee of the Federation of Kenya Employers, FKE. 5. Dr. Geoffrey Apollo Omondi as a nominee of the Central Organization of Trade Union, KOTU. And 6. Mr. Leonid Ashindu as a nominee of the Association of Professional Societies in East Africa, APSEA. And Honorable Speaker, in considering the nominees' appointments, the committees scrutinized the procedure used to select the nominees, the constitution and statutory requirements relating to the office in question, and the nominees' suitability for the proposed appointments, focusing on whether nominees' abilities, experience, and qualities meet the requirements of the said office. Honorable Speaker, in examining the procedure used to arrive at the nominations, the committee noted, in accordance with the powers conferred by Article 132(2) and 155(3) of the Constitution, as read together with Sections 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act of 2011, His Excellency the President, through a letter by the Chief of Staff...
Order, honorable members, order. Order, members. Take your seats. I know it's exciting to meet in the new year, but let's hear what is being debated on the floor. Go on.
So, Honorable Speaker, in examining the procedure used to arrive at the nominations, the committee noted that in accordance with the powers conferred by Article 132(2) and 155(3) of the Constitution, as read together with Sections 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act of 2011, His Excellency the President, through a letter by the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, reference number, EOP, dated Monday, November 2024, forwarded to the Speaker of the National Assembly a notification of presidential action nominating Mr. Sami Chepkwony as chairperson, and others as follows: Major General Retired Martin Kizito, Mohammed Aden Abdi, Jane Kataka Njage, Gilda Odera, nominee of the Federation of Kenya Employers. 5, Geoffrey Apollo Omondi, Doctor. Then 6, Mr. Leonid Ashindu of APSEA. So, Honorable Speaker, the committee held its sittings and discussed widely, vetted these nominees, and made observations on their suitability. And the suitability of the nominees was assessed after scrutiny of their background, academic credentials and professional qualifications, and work experience, personal integrity, as well as their performance during the approval hearing conducted on the 22nd of November 2024. And these are some of the observations we made, Honorable Speaker, that all the nominees are Kenyan citizens and do not hold dual citizenship. Then all the nominees presented the academic credentials and professional certificates during the approval and demonstrated their suitability. Then 3, none of the nominees held office in any political party. Then 4, none of the nominees had been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution. Then 5, the nominees meet the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity, having obtained clearance from EACC, KRA, DCI, and Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, ORPP, and also the Higher Education Loans Board. Then also, the nominees demonstrated an impressive grasp of topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on the office of the chairperson and members of SRC, and that they had or they have requisite abilities, qualifications, and experience to serve in these offices. So, Honorable Speaker, for this reason, on behalf of the Departmental Committee on Labor, I am proud to move this special motion and thank the honorable members of my committee who sat through with me as we discussed all this. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I am proud to move this special motion on the consideration of the nominees for the appointment of chairperson and members of the SRC, Salaries and Remuneration Commission. And I beg to move and now request the Honorable Lilian Sioi to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Trans Nzoia. Give her the mic. Give to Lillian the mic. Clerk, what's the problem? You don't have a card, Lillian? Give her the nearest mic. There you are. In front of you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm a member of Labour Committee, and I want to confirm to this House that the members who are vetted are competent and suitable for that task. And in that case, I second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Members on their feet, take your seats. Commissioner Makau, take your seat. Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 9, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Labor in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and as members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, all the honorable members, Sirma, standing orders provide that when the speaker is on his or her feet, you maintain studious silence. Let me repeat now. I propose the question at order number 9, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Labor and its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and as members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26 November 2024, and pursuant the provisions of Article 230 of the Constitution, Section 711 of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Act, Cap 412D, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. 1, Sami Chepkwony, Chairperson. 2, Major General Retired Martin Kizito Ongoi, CBS, member nominated by the Defense Council. 3, Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi, member nominated by the Senate on behalf of county governments. 4, Ms. Jane Gataka Njage, member nominated by the Teacher Service Commission. 5, Dr. Gilda Odera, member nominated by an umbrella body representing employees. 6, Dr. Geoffrey Apollo Omondi, member nominated by an umbrella body representing trade unions. And 7, Mr. Leonid Ashindu, member nominated by a joint forum of professional bodies. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I raise to support this motion for the approval of the 7 nominees into the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Honorable Speaker, if members go through the CVs of all these nominees, you see many of them have a background in human resource management or personnel management, and others in administration. And also, we have one nominee, as you said, the nominee from the Defense Council, the Major Retired Martin Kizito Ongoi, who also holds a diploma in international studies and a Master of Arts in political science and public administration, and therefore tells you that many of these nominees are very experienced in the space of public administration and personnel management. But, Honorable Speaker, as I support the appointment, it is important, Honorable Speaker, to note that the SRC Commission started on a very false note, not just with this House or with the institution of Parliament, but also with other institutions, including the judiciary, Honorable Speaker. And I want to implore on these new commissioners to set a new pace in their relations with other arms of government, be it in the judiciary or in the legislature, Honorable Speaker. This commission, Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the very loud consultations.
Order, honorable members. Order. CNN, order. You come from the same direction. I'm sure you could have talked as you are coming here. Order, let's listen to one another.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's probably because I didn't say Happy New Year to all the members. And let me take this opportunity to say a happy 2025 to all the members as I welcome them back to this special sitting. And also thank them for showing up in their numbers, at least within the first 2 weeks of the year. That, Honorable Speaker, tells you the dedication and commitment of these members. And even the members of the Labour Committee and the Committee on Appointments, which you chair, which took time during the recess to vet both these SRC members and the cabinet nominees.
Order, honorable members. Who is the convener of that illegal Kamkunji? Go on.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Unfortunately, it is the leader of the minority and deputy leader of the majority of the broad-based government, the Honorable Junet Mohammed. Honorable Speaker, I was saying the SRC Commission had started on a false note since its inception after the 2010 Constitution. And I was saying I pray and hope that this new commission and these 7 commissioners will work in consultation with other arms of government so that they do not work as a commission that's working in competition with other arms of government, and especially the judiciary, the legislature, and even other players in the executive, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to believe that this being a new commission, they will work in a consultative manner. Because, Honorable Speaker, we had a very populist commission before this one. And I want to encourage the new commissioners not to fall into the trap of playing to the gallery. Honorable Speaker, you remember during the Gen Z protests mid last year, the former commission published a gazette notice that they were increasing the pay of members of parliament by some, was it 9,000 or 7,000 shillings? And it is the normal increments, Honorable Speaker, that come, I think, every 2 years. But, Honorable Speaker, the timing and the gazettement of that gazette notice was very suspect. and all they intended to do was to play populist politics, play to the gallery, and continue to poison Kenyans against members of parliament. Honorable Speaker, these members of parliament work, and they have a lot of work that they do both in the house and outside the house, and nobody should demonize them on account of their work. 349 members and another 67 members elected in the Senate, Honorable Speaker, out of 45 million Kenyans to serve the nation, Honorable Speaker, also deserve to be paid. Honorable Speaker, SRC must therefore be cognizant that they are working to balance both public interest, but also not to demonize people in other institutions, Honorable Speaker. I know the judiciary, members of the judiciary, because I've had occasion to engage with members of the judiciary, have suffered the same fate as members of parliament, Honorable Speaker. In fact, I remember, Honorable Speaker, at one point somebody in the judiciary, who I will not name, asked me, why don't you disband this commission? And I'm sure, Honorable Speaker, if it was disbanded, very many people, even in the judiciary, would be happy. But, Honorable Speaker, we want the commission to stay because we want a balance in how we conduct our public affairs, especially in matters to do with personnel management, remuneration of public officers, but it must be done in a measured way, in a balanced way, balancing the resources we have, but also the needs of the public service officers who are serving the people of Kenya, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if we do not balance the needs of public servants, Honorable Speaker, then we kill not just the aspirations of young people who are joining the public service, but we also make it impossible, Honorable Speaker, for those who are already in the public service to grow as persons. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask this commission, this new commission as they come into office, to engage other stakeholders. And I'm told by the chair of the committee, when they engage with all these individual commissioners as we are vetting them, they did commit that they will work in a consultative manner, they will engage stakeholders, and by the time they make decisions, they will make decisions that are out of a consultative process. And I want to congratulate them and support their approval, Honorable Speaker, and therefore beg to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Junet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this motion for the approval of the commissioners of the Salary and Remuneration Commission. Mr. Speaker, these are the new commissions that came through the new constitution. And Mr. Speaker, I can see the proposal that has been brought to the House is the commission consists of members of high integrity, people whom I believe can do this work, Kenyans who are qualified, people who have worked in other sectors in the country, Mr. Speaker, who have been put together so that they can help this country deal with the issue of wage bill, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, the funny thing about this commission, and I've been here since the inception when this commission came into place, Mr. Speaker, there's a misconception that they think this commission was created purposely to fight politicians, Mr. Speaker. Somebody has misadvised them. Somebody has misguided them, Mr. Speaker. You will see, once they are approved by this House, Mr. Speaker, the first war they will start with is Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I don't know who has misadvised them. They are supposed to look at the remuneration and the earnings of all sectors in the public service and in all state officers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it is juicy, it's into the public when you deal with politicians. You know, you demonize them, you tell them they want to earn more than what they deserve, I don't know what. Mr. Speaker, this commission should start on a new slate, Mr. Speaker, and look at the issue of wage bill and remuneration of public service holistically, Mr. Speaker. One of, Mr. Speaker, the issues that they're supposed to do is to harmonize the public service wage bill, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, you will see, you know, at the end, when Parliament is closed in August 2027, when people are going to the election, that's when you see the Commission publishing a Gazette notice saying that the salary of a member of Parliament has been reduced to 50,000. If they want to do that, let them do it now, so that the people who want to apply for the jobs of being a member of Parliament can decide in August 2027 whether they want to go for that job or they don't want to go for that job. Don't wait until Parliament is closed. Why should you do that mischievously? Just advertise now that this is the salary that is commensurate with a member of parliament. Then the people who intend to contest for these positions in 2027 can make up their mind early enough. Because there are people who are leaders in the corporate sector, who are earning way above members of parliament, who will want to come to this house. But when you issue a notice of a gazette notice when parliament is closed in August 2027, and they will have resigned in February 2027, then you'll be doing injustice to them, because they will have decided, do I stay as the managing director of a bank earning this much? I know a member from Meru here who was doing very well before he came here, Mr. Speaker. He confided in me. He told me I was earning way, I never thought this is the kind of job I was getting into, Mr. Speaker. We were in Mombasa with him for a trip. I told him, my brother, this is a call. This is a service to the public. You might not earn anything. And whatever you earn here, it belongs to the public. Whatever you earn in this house belongs to the public. You have to return it back in form of health care, in form of education, in form of bursary, in form of transport, in form of wedding expenses, in form of burial expenses. Mr. Speaker, nobody spends any money he earns in parliament on his own family or on his own personal use, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of parliament, the number of burials they contribute to, the number of people they bury, the number of people they pay for their health services, health care, Mr. Speaker, school fees, Mr. Speaker, weddings, people want to buy, may I have seen, Mr. Speaker, cases where somebody wants to marry, he comes to a member of parliament. Maternity, somebody tells you, my wife has given birth, she's in the ward, I don't have money to pay for the, you have to pay, Mr. Speaker, you have no choice. You know, sometimes even traveling, he tells you, I want to go and visit my in-laws from this in Makueni County. You have to pay, Mr. Speaker. No, especially they come from that side where Honorable Lumbui is in my place. So he tells you, I want to go all the way to Kitui. Can you pay something? Then you have to give him money so that he can greet them. So, Mr. Speaker, public service is a calling. Being a politician is not a mean job, Mr. Speaker. It's a very difficult job. But anybody who's outside it thinks it's a walk in the park. He thinks, you know, when they see you, the most prestigious thing you see with a member of parliament is when his escort opens for him the door. People think that is the most important thing in the most of parliament. That's what they see. Mr. Speaker, it's a very, very daunting task. It's a job that is not a joke, Mr. Speaker. You have to think of your constituents. You have to think of Kenyans. You have to make sure you pass the right laws here. You have to be present when those laws are being passed. You have to make sure that services are provided to your constituents, Mr. Speaker. And then now the Salary and Remuneration Commission thinks that, oh, these are just jokers, a bunch of jokers who have just sat somewhere in an afternoon in a air conditioned hall where they just talk and say anything they want. No, Mr. Speaker. You wait until the next election arrives. You will see every constituency will have over 20 aspirants. If the job is that useless, why are people going for? Why can't you leave the one who's there just to continue? It shows you how important this work is. So I want to urge the Salary and Remuneration Commissioners, if they are approved by this House, to look at things holistically. Let them not be duped that if you deal with politicians, is when Kenyans take you serious. You are mistaken, my brothers and sisters. You are mistaken. So, but in spite of all that, I want to ask the House that we also need SRC Commission as a commission, because they are doing a very important constitutional duty, Mr. Speaker. Because, you know, the disparities in the wage bill, the disparities in the remuneration in this country, Mr. Speaker, must be harmonized. The low-cadre person must feel that he's doing a good service and is being given a good remuneration as the highest person paid, Mr. Speaker. That is their work, and that's why we need them, and that's why I urge this House that we pass the SRC Commission so that Kenyans can also enjoy the fruits of their new constitution, Mr. Speaker, by giving them these commissions that are supposed to deal with those aspects in the running of the country, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to pass this commission so that we have a commission in place that can deal with those issues so that they can help also the executive manage the wage bill, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Murugara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker also rise to support the special motion that this House approves the appointment of the commissioners to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. It's a very important constitutional commission which cuts across the three arms of government in that it has to work closely with the Parliamentary Service Commission, the Public Service Commission, and the Judicial Service Commission. There is a notion out there that these commissions actually set salaries for their members or for their employees, which is not the case. It is the SRC that recommends to these particular commissions so that salaries can, to some extent, be harmonized, although this is not the case as it is required. We have had issues with the last Salaries Commission, Remuneration Commission that is actually outgoing. There are complaints that it was not able to harmonize salaries even within individual arms of government, to the detriment of the workers, such that when you compare what the security forces earn, there are disparities that cannot be explained. We therefore call upon this particular new commission coming in to work on harmonizing salaries so that we are able to have servants of the public earning almost what can be comparable. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, to pick out one important topic, the bottom-up agenda, where we have the junior-most workers for the government known as area managers in the villages who are not remunerated. We have passed numerous motions here. We have even passed laws which are supposed to determine how these persons are to be remunerated. However, when this was taken to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, it was actually withheld on the basis that these people do not have a formal education. I do not know where education is supposed to be the determinant. It is supposed to be a consideration by the commission whether there is an education or no education. We all know that the basic arm of the administrative government of this country are these people known as area managers. These are people who do everything in the grassroots, including they are the police officers, they are the judges, they are the executioners, they are everything. I therefore call upon the new commission coming in to sit down without reservation, look into what should actually be paid to area managers in this country, because they are out there doing an executive and excellent job for which they are not recognized, for which they are not remunerated by anyone, purely because the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has refused, has declined, has actually failed to set up guidelines which will determine how much these people should be remunerated. I speak for area managers. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the special motion for consideration of nominees for appointment of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Honorable Speaker, this is a creature of the 2010 Constitution in order to solve the so-called ballooning wage bill in the public service. Honorable Speaker, once the committee has done its vetting and deliberations and have proposed approval, we, the members of Parliament, need to do nothing else but support their recommendations. Honorable Speaker, allow me, as we usher in the new commission, I believe this is the third commission since the inauguration of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, there are very many challenges in the public service. There are very many issues in the public service. I do hope and pray the new commission will address the challenges. Honorable Speaker, the disparity, both the national government and the county governments, need to be harmonized to ensure that all members, all Kenyans who work in the public service are paid what is due for their labor, for their efforts, for their level of qualifications, and for their level of experience, Honorable Speaker. This should also apply to all other arms of government, be it in the military, be it parliament, be it in the judiciary. So that when somebody wakes up in the morning to go and work, they must be paid what they deserve. Honorable Speaker, the past two commissions have had a very antagonistic approach to dealing with the members of parliament. Honorable Speaker, they have demonized members of parliament, made them look as if they're illiterate, people who have never gone to school, people who deserve nothing. Honorable Speaker, as Honorable Junet has spoken, and as the majority leader has spoken, members of parliament do more than what they are supposed to do. So in that essence, Honorable Speaker, there must be an arrangement that probably one of these days, Honorable Speaker, and I want to urge all of them, to ask any member of this Salaries and Remuneration Commission probably spend a full day or several days with any member of parliament when they're in the constituencies, so they can understand the trouble and the challenges they go through, to enable, so that when they are looking at their matters, they need to look at it in a very organized and organized manner, appreciating the burden of the job at hand and everything they do. And this applies to all other cadres of jobs, Honorable Speaker. So, with those few remarks, I support the approval and wish them well. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Gichemo Gedenji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity also to contribute to this special motion for approval of the nominees of the commissioners to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Honorable Speaker, as I contribute, let me take this early opportunity to wish you, Honorable Speaker, and all the members a blessed 2025, a year that we hope that will be very fruitful as we serve this nation in our capacity as members of parliament, and also wish all the support staff of the parliament as they serve us a wonderful new year. And also wish all our constituents whom we serve at the constituencies that we've not been able to meet a wonderful and a fruitful, blessed 2025. Honorable Speaker, I support, and since the committee has already indicated that all the nominees meet all the requisite qualifications as per the law and the Constitution, I believe they will be able to serve us better than the previous commissions and serve the country better. And Honorable Speaker, one of the areas that I would like the new commission to put emphasis on is on the stipends that are usually paid to the interns. This is an area that the interns have been feeling there's a gap. They've not been properly considered when they are remunerated for their stipends, when they are doing their internship. And it's an area that should be tied with a new bill that has already been brought before this parliament by Honorable Naisula, which we ably supported as the entire parliament. So it's an area that needs a lot of consideration. And also, they should also be able to harmonize all the salaries that are paid by various grades and cadres at the national level and the county governments. So we should not have areas whereby a lot of preference or a lot of any disparity, because if various people are serving at the same level, they should actually be able to receive the same remuneration and also the same kind of allowances that are due. So, and of course, they should also, they should not create situations whereby they are in conflict with members of parliament, because we are there to serve this nation together, and all the regulations that are supposed to be done by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission should be well done, so that Parliament will also be able to support their activities for the service of this nation. So, Honorable Speaker, without belaboring the point and also much ado, I really support, and I hope they will be able to take up their jobs as soon as we are able to approve them, so that they can serve this nation and harmonize everything about salaries and remunerations. Thank you.
Otienda Amolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support this special motion for a few reasons that I will state very briefly. First of all, it is well balanced in terms of gender, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of region. And that is one of the things we require in constitutional commissions. It is also well balanced in terms of abilities, and I've seen the various nominees from the various bodies. They are promising. Mr. Speaker, I support this special motion and urge that as the commissioners come in, there are a number of things they should observe. One of the things they should observe, Mr. Speaker, is not to be a stumbling block to the idea of unionism. The remuneration, this commission was set up to facilitate the purposes of the Constitution. And one of those purposes is recognition of the right to unionism. There has become a trend where collective bargaining agreements are negotiated and then flouted, and when they are flouted, they cite the commission as the entity that has not approved. I urge them to do their work in tandem with the commission. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I urge the commission to be aware that there's a reason why, as opposed to other commissions, they are representatives of other bodies. Among those in the list right now is a representative of the Senate, and we in the National Assembly have sent a representative. There are representations from employers, employees, and other bodies. They are wajumbe like us. If they do not go there to represent themselves, they represent the entities that have sent them. And therefore, when we as Parliament send people to the Commission, the people we send must consult with us and must respect our authority. They must not go there and start fighting us. One of the things that should be noted, Mr. Speaker, that the Commission has previously added on is to look at the qualification of being a member of Parliament. Now, we know we've had this debate from the Constitution to legislation as to the minimum standards. But be that as it may, focus must be had on the work that a member of Parliament does, not just the minimum qualifications. This is the house where we have some of the highest qualified Kenyans. And therefore, you cannot sacrifice the work that a member of Parliament does merely because you say the minimum qualification is equivalent to the qualification of any other person of the lowest cadre. That is something they got wrong and they must get right. Mr. Speaker, I want to support them and give a warning bell, not just to the Commission, but to commissions generally. Commissions are supposed to be independent. They are supposed to assist the citizens. There's becoming a trend when commissions are ceding their independence. They are starting not to do the work that they were meant to do. This is becoming a threat to the Constitution and to the commissions themselves. I urge that all our constitutional commissions, and this commission particularly, should do its work without fear or favor, and should do its work with competence, and should do its work for the benefit of Kenyans at large. Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Daud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first, I would like to say Happy New Year to all members together with you. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, regarding the SRC, I remember when I was in the Finance Committee in the 11th Parliament, we approved Sarah Serem as the head of SRC. And when Sarah Serem came to the interview, she sounded so good. But before she left, she had shown her horns. The same with Mengich. And I hope now Semi Chepkonyi, the one who has been nominated for the chair, will not be the same as Sarah Serem or Mengich. Mr. Speaker, whenever there are salaries to be put, they always make sure that they target members of parliament and not the others. Whereas members of parliament have fought an election and got to this house. It is not easy to make it to this house, Mr. Speaker, as you know, because you have been in many elections. and it is very, very difficult to get here. So it is only the chosen few who can make it to Parliament. And remuneration for those people should not be a subject, because whenever you hear, it is only the members of Parliament are mentioned, the rest are not mentioned at all. Mr. Speaker, I agree with Honorable Murugara regarding the village elders. Mr. Speaker, it is high time that we remunerate the village elders. We have to look for money from anywhere so that they can be, they do the work, they help the national administration, GAO, so that we can go forward in this, in the country. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I want to support the new team, but I want the new team as well to be supportive of the Kenyan workers, and the parliamentarians are Kenyan workers as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mama Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwanza nichukue fursa hii kuambia wabunge wote Happy New Year. La pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, niweze kutoa rasmi rambirambi zangu kwa familia yako Mheshimiwa Spika na ndugu yetu Mheshimiwa Timothy kwa kumpoteza mama. Mwenyezi Mungu amhifadhi na wema. Mheshimiwa Spika, nachukua fursa hii kuweza kuwapongeza wote ambao wameteuliwa katika commission ya CRC Mheshimiwa Spika, na pia niweze kueleza kama walivyoeleza wenzangu kuwa Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba Bwana Sami Chepkoni akiingia kwenye kiti hichi aweze kuangalia maslahi ya Wakenya wote Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kama walivyosema wenzangu Mheshimiwa Spika, wabunge huwa tunapata mtihani mkubwa sana wakati ambapo tunaongezwa mshahara Mheshimiwa Spika. Ifahamike kuwa mbunge ana kazi kubwa sana, na mimi Mheshimiwa Spika niseme katika wabunge sijui mimi ndio maskini, manake hutoa zote paka nikabaki sina hata sumni. Na kwa sababu Wakenya wana matatizo mengi, Mkenya yeyote akiona mbunge anajua bili hospitali nitaenda kwa mama county, yule ambaye ana msiba nitaenda kwa mama county, yule ambaye ana matatizo yote ile nitaenda kwa mama county. Na sasa kuna pia mapya tena Mheshimiwa Spika, unapata wale watoto wetu ambao wamepata safari ya kwenda nje kutafuta kazi, inatakiwa commissioner. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi wabunge ndio tunafuata, na si pesa kidogo, 200,000, 150,000. Na ndio maana mimi hata nilikuwa nasema hawa ambao wanashughulika na youth fund si waweze kuchukua hao vijana wawape hizi pesa, wakienda hata waweze kulipa ngana, sisi tuweze kupunguziwa mzigo Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi ningependa kuambia hao makamishna, Wakenya wamehangaika sana wakati wa kupata mishahara yao, waweze kuangalia, manake ndio imeleta sintofahamu. Na yule alotoka Mheshimiwa Spika aliweza kututangaza hadharani wakati ambapo hata jumba hili lilikuwa limeingiliwa na GNC, tukachomoka mbio Mheshimiwa Spika. Sasa bado tunafikiria yale machungu, tena unapata unaeko kwenye gazeti kwa umeongezwa mshahara 7,000 Mheshimiwa Spika. Hiyo 7,000 tulitukanwa mpaka mwenzangu akanilazimisha kwenye mkutano mmoja tukatai huo mshahara Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati ambapo iko kwenye sheria, lakini ni kwa sababu maisha yetu ilikuwa hatarini. Na Wakenya wengi walikuwa hawafikirii kuwa huyu ni mbunge, ana hili na lile, anatusaidia hapa na pale. Ile 7,000 si kitu kwenye nyongeza, lakini ilibidi Mheshimiwa Spika tuende mbio kwenye mikutano tukatae, tuseme sisi hatukubali huu mshahara, lakini ndani ya roho zetu tulikuwa tunatamani hata tuongezewe zaidi, manake mambo ni magumu Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, nikimalizia nataka kusema hivi, ndani ya bunge hili tuliweza kupitisha hawa wazee wa mitaa ambao wanafanya kazi kubwa sana kule mashinani. Hawa ndio polisi, hawa ndio majaji kule, hawa ndio wanajua nani amepotea, hawa wanajua mtoto wa nani amepotea, hawa wanajua nyumba gani watu wamepigana, twende tukasuluhishe Mheshimiwa Spika. Wazee wa mitaa wanafanya kazi ngumu sana hata kushinda sekta nyingine yoyote Mheshimiwa Spika. Na tulipitisha hapa kuwa waongezewe mshahara, lakini haijafanyika. Namuomba ndugu yetu Sami Chepkoni na timu yake waweze kufikiria wazee wa mitaa, waweze kupewa angaa hata kidogo kama tulivyoona watu wa CHP wakipewa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi napenda kusema pia kuna wale retired councillors tulipitisha pia katika bunge hii hapo nyuma kuwa waweze kupata nao kidogo kiinua mgongo, lakini mpaka sasa wale councillors walio retire na kila siku wananipigia simu kulizungumzia hili. Ilipita hapa bungeni lakini bado haijakuwa effected na mpaka sasa hakuna kitu wanapata, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mwisho, Mheshimiwa Spika, na waomba hawa waweze kushikana na Wakenya wote, wajue daktari, wajue mwalimu, wajue mbunge, wajue mfanyikazi yote yule wa serikali, kwa sababu maisha yamepanda sana. Kila bidhaa zikiongezeka utapata mshahara uko pale pale. Kwa hiyo wakiweza kuongezea mshahara, waangalie kutoka yule civil servant wa kule chini mpaka yule wa juu, wakipata kiinua mgongo kidogo itaweza kuwasaidia, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi nawapongeza, nasema washike kazi, wafanye kazi, waweze kuinua Wakenya wote kwa pamoja bila mapendeleo, na wasipendelee wabunge, manake sisi ndio watu wachapwa fimbo sana. Ikiwa mshahara unaongezeka, watu wengine huwezi kuona umewekwa ama unajadiliwa kwenye magazeti, lakini mshahara wa mbunge tunachapwa fimbo na hata sijui huwa tumekosea kitu gani. Manake pia utapigwa fimbo na ukirudi nyumbani mtu ana matanga, utasikia mama county tuna msiba hapa. Mtu wengine mpaka birthday wanakuambia tusaidie birthday, umeona? Kwa hiyo tukiongezewa mshahara wa Kenya, mimi nawaomba na sisi mtuelewe, manake huwa tunakuja kwenu na hizi pesa pia tuwala na nyinyi wananchi, hatuli peke yetu. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you. Honorable members, I can see the contributions are to Tologas. How much more time do you want to spend on this? Okay, let me give one, then we get the mover to reply. Madenge. Okay, Madenge, and in quick succession, Kaluma, then Karemba, be ready to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join the rest of my colleagues in supporting this motion. However, Mr. Speaker, as we pass both the commissioners of the SRC and the Public Service Commission, their work is cut out. Mr. Speaker, over the last 2 years, the salaried employees in this country, those with a form of payslip, have borne the larger burden of financing our country. We have had increases in NSSF contributions. We have instituted the Housing Levy Fund. We have an increase in pay as you earn. We have the increase in the percentage paid through the Social Health Insurance Fund. And the net effect of these contributions by the salaried employees has been to erode the spending power of very many households. And the reduced disposable income has affected purchasing power. Even as these commissions keep an eye on the wage bill in this country, they must look at the ability of our people, especially the employed people, to afford a decent standard of living. Honorable Speaker, the other component, as a member of the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities Committee, a lot of the government departments and parastatals have acute staff shortages, which is compromising service delivery. Honorable Speaker, including such crucial sectors as healthcare. It is therefore important that these two commissions look at the quiet freeze in employment, because even very many more young people have finished their studies and they are looking for opportunities for employment. Honorable Speaker, the last item are the retired public servants. We do not have a commission to take care of them, A lot of them are suffering because their pensions have remained unpaid, and it is important that both these commissions look at the component of the workers who have retired after serving this nation diligently. Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I join my colleagues, members of Parliament, for in supporting the motion and therefore signifying my approval for the appointment upon Parliament deciding of these commissioners. But Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say that this commission, despite being a Chapter 15 commission like several others, I don't know what really happens in it. Honorable Speaker, I've been in this house since the 11th Parliament under the new constitution. And we approved commissioners here, led by Madam Sarah Serem. When they sat, they took their business as the business of dealing with this Parliament. After that, Honorable Speaker, we again approved the second SRC commission under this constitution. And Honorable Speaker, you remember the first commission had people like Olo Aringo, who started the Parliamentary Service Commission. Immediately went there, he forgot about the role of Parliamentary Service Commission and was leading SRC in encroaching into the mandate of the Parliamentary Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, the last commission, this one which is going out, which has just gone out, Dalmas Otieno Anyango, and Honorable Mbui and others will confirm to you how eloquent Dalmas used to be seated from where my brother is seated there, about the place of Parliament, how remuneration should be organized. He immediately went into that commission, hitting back at Parliament became his business. I wanted to say, Honorable Speaker, that I don't know whether it is the Salaries and Remuneration Commission which is cast or the people we send there. I wanted to pray, Honorable Speaker, that now that we are sending a new team, may they be alive to the fact that as Parliament, we've done everything to enable them discharge their mandate. Honorable Speaker, the Salaries and Remuneration Act is very detailed coming from this Parliament in terms of their mandates, how they need to do job evaluation, how they need to peg, salaries to the roles of the various bodies, how they need to harmonize salaries so that people performing same roles and functions unequally. But Honorable Speaker, that has not been happening. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request these commissioners, if ultimately approved, that they avoid the jinx of the past, where the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has been encroaching into the mandate of the other commissions. Honorable Commission, for purposes of protecting Parliament, you have Parliamentary Service Commission. And the mandate of Parliamentary Service Commission to deal with matters, welfare and facilities for Parliament is constitutional. You still get the Salaries and Remuneration Commission issuing gazette notices prescribing, Honorable Speaker, even the amount of tea. If you remember the gazette notice for the 12th Parliament, even the number of cups of tea members of Parliament should be taking in a committee, not knowing some of us don't even take the number of cups of tea. Issues of per diem, issues of allowances. And so you have such issues going to court. And when they go to court, the monies we budget for operations and maintenance of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission is now being used in wars over remuneration between government agencies. I wanted to request the Commission that incident has also affected the judiciary. And I don't know why Salaries and Remuneration Commission would not respect the jurisdictional territory of equal coordinate commissions like JSC. JSC is also dealing with matters facility, matters welfare. But you get Salaries and Remuneration Commission telling judges who want to sit together and conference, most of those judges who sit in a bench, that this is the amount of money you are going to spend. You cannot have per diem if you go conferencing, and that is delaying bench determination. The determination of those cases in which more than one judge have to sit somewhere, together and deal with them. You need a judge. You have a judge from Malindi, a judge from Busia. They are convening in Nairobi. A judge cannot travel because Salaries and Remuneration Commission, not knowing how the judiciary operates, is encroaching the mandate of JSC. I wanted to say, Honorable Speaker, that beyond the law, we have really facilitated this commission. This is a commission, Honorable Speaker, which people thought should be part-time. Because how long should it take a commission to determine and harmonize the pay for various state bodies? In spite of that thinking, as members of parliament, we said, Honorable Speaker, that this commission shall never be part-time, because the remuneration levels of various, cadres of government and public servants need to be reviewed constantly. I wanted to say, Honorable Speaker, that we are supporting this commission. They'll continue to operate full-time. They will be restricted to their mandate, and we will support them with a budget as required by Article 249 of the Constitution, so that they perform their role. But we need to urge the commission, unlike the other members before, to avoid this situation where there is to be litigation, there is to be hitting at Parliament. Honorable Speaker, let me just ask the members, why, for instance, should the salary of a cabinet secretary be beyond the salary of a member of Parliament? It is because when you look at the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, for the judiciary, there is a statement saying that the remuneration of a judge shall not be changed to their detriment. The remuneration of commissioners, Chapter 15 commissioners, cannot be changed to their detriment. We don't have similar provision for Parliament. That should not allow SRC to make the remuneration of members of Parliament or state officers serving in Parliament something as a ping pong. Honorable Speaker, we are being embarrassed. Each time we have election, you return, there is a new remuneration. You sat in the 10th Parliament, Honorable Speaker, and you remember the pay for a member of Parliament was over 1 million, so about 1.2. And Honorable Speaker, it was not subject to any taxation. We come to the 11th Parliament, it is 630. We come, Honorable Speaker, to the 12th Parliament, it was moved, you remember, Honorable Speaker, to 510. And we had to go to court. And when it is pegged at 510, against all public servants and employees of government, it is only Parliament they are telling, you will not have annual increment. So we need harmony in spite of the law, because the Salaries and Remuneration Act and the Constitution still says that you will harmonize. I mean, Honorable Speaker, as the head of this institution, you are the third in command of the state. You are a member of Parliament. If you are there, why do you have an evaluation in terms of job evaluation by SRC, putting members of Parliament at cadre 43, so that we are earning even less than PSS? We are earning less than CSS. How then do you oversight them? We said we approve them, but they sit there. We want to tell these incoming members that on my part, I will signify my approval, and I'm going to vote for approval. But really, let us go back to work. Let them not just sit there. But remember, we put them as full-time so that these things can be harmonized, and we need a peaceful relationship. If there are cases, like the President said, where you have a commission suing the other, they are unnecessary. Let them be withdrawn so that, Honorable Speaker, we can be in the same light and we can be safeguarding the constitutional mandates of the various bodies. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank the honorable members who have contributed to this motion, and starting with the honorable members of the committee who sat through the entire vetting process and saw that indeed the nominees were fit for this exercise. But the message is very clear, Honorable Speaker, to the incoming commissioners, that their job is very clear. Their job is not to target politicians only. There is an enormous responsibility ahead of them, that of checking the wage bill and focusing on the productivity in the entire public service, so that also we can have a country where even those who do not earn as much feel that indeed they are considered. Honorable Speaker, while I agree with the honorable members who share or rather who express how sometimes it is challenging when their constituents have to ask for this and that, from burials to birthdays and to weddings, I wish to state that, Honorable Speaker, I do not think that it is sustainable. Maybe this is a culture that we need to change in this country, because how much money is enough to give out to our constituents? it can never be enough. So if there is something that we need to change is the culture, so that also empower our people so that they can also get their income and be able to service themselves and even sort their own challenges, instead of thinking that perhaps it is us who have the responsibility of sorting out their problems. So going forward, maybe as leaders in this country, we need to invest more in growing our country, in growing our economy, so that our economy can serve all of us. So, Honorable Speaker, having said all that, I beg to reply. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You can stand there. Order, honorable members on their feet. Take your seats. Take your seats. Ferdinand, take the nearest seat. Thank you. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9. There is quorum in the House. That taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Labor in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and as members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26 November 2024, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 230 of the Constitution, Section 711 of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Act, Cap 412D, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. 1, Sami Chepkonyi, Chairman. 2, Major General Retired Martin Kizito Ngoi, CBS, Member nominated by the Defense Council. 3, Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi, Member nominated by the Senate on behalf of the county governments. 4, Ms. Jane Gataka Njage, Member nominated by the Teacher Service Commission. 5, Dr. Gilda Odera, Member nominated by an umbrella body representing employees. 6, Dr. Geoffrey Apollo Omondi, Member nominated by an umbrella body representing trade unions. And 7, Mr. Leonid Ashindu, Member nominated by a joint forum of professional bodies. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Members, will you be upstanding?
Niweke kadi ama niwache tumefika wapi?
So Mheshimiwa, you will let them know. We had reached clause 27, so we are resuming from 28.
Okay. Then wait. Honorable members, we are now in the Committee of the Whole House for the Startup Bill, Senate Bill number 14 of 2022. We had done up to clause 27. We are resuming from clause 28.
Clauses 28 and 29.
No amendments. I propose the question that clauses 28 and 29 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 28 and 29 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 30.
I
I propose the question that clause 30 be part of the bill. There is a proposed amendment by the chairperson, Trade Committee. The Vice Chair, Honorable Marianne.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I propose that clause 30 be amended as it appears in the order paper, and the justification for it that is amended. The amendment is aimed to accommodate the aspects of intellectual property in the proposed new clause 30A.
Honorable members, the consultations are too loud. Honorable Rahim, Honorable Karido, Honorable John Paul, kindly break the kamukunji. Those who are making their way out, kindly do so quietly. Honorable Kionjori, please break the kamukunji. Let us hear each other. Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the chair. If you are intending to speak on this, kindly use the intervention. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to support this particular amendment, and the reason is because it actually comes in to enrich the clause number 30. And further to that, Honorable Chair, we've not had an opportunity where we have a law that puts in place specific regulations that support the copyright, and this particular one does that, and including the fact that for the startups, it's actually going to give financial support mechanisms to the people who have startups. So for that reason, I do support the amendments. I thank you.
Very well. I put the question then that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 30 is amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
I propose the question that clause 31 be part of the bill. Honorable Keitany.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I propose that that clause 31 be amended as it appears in the order paper, and the justification for it is that the proposed amendment is to be deleted, is covered under clause 27A, sorry. Thank you.
Very well. I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by the chair. I therefore put the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 31 is amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 32 and 33.
No amendment. I propose the question that clauses 32 and 33 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 32 and 33 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 34.
I propose the question that clause 34 be part of the bill. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I propose that clause 34 be amended as it appears in the order paper, and the justification for it is that the proposed amendment is to protect personal data of startups. Thank you.
Very well. I propose the question that clause 34 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable Oundo, are you on this?
Yes, Chair. Chair, can
order members. Honorable TJ.
The Attorney General.
Honorable Rosa Buyu, please break the kamukunji so that we hear Honorable Member for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Chair. I support the amendment because there's an element of intellectual property, and in the country where there is misuse of personal data, these particular provisions saves or protects the interests of the innovators and everybody involved in this business. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Very well. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, also support this particular amendment because, Honorable Chair, we live in a world that is very much intervened by the social media and the misuse of data that belongs to people. And therefore, this particular law is actually helping us to ensure that this is in line with the Data Protection Act, which is something that we should actually encourage as a House to have all laws that deal with people's data, that deal with intellectual property, that deal with innovations, that they're actually also in accordance to the provisions of the Data Protection Act. I therefore support. I thank you.
Member for Nandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think my comments on this particular amendment have been captured by the honorable members who have spoken before me. Honorable Speaker, this is a very important part that caught my attention because the issue of data protection is very important, especially for these intellectual property matters that we have been having cases severally. We've had a lot of content creators and all those kind of people having issues with their content being copyrighted, Honorable Speaker, and I think this is very progressive and I support the amendment.
Honorable Geshimo. Honorable Member for Thika, you are out of order. Do not obstruct the chair.
Thank you, Chair. As I support this, I abide myself with the sentiments that have been...
Order, members. Member for Thika Town, Honorable Alice, you should not stand between the speaker or the chair with the member speaking. Honorable Geshimo, continue.
I support and say for what the members have said. One of the reasons that I'm supporting is that the initial clause was purporting to amend another act, which is irregular. This provision just refers to the protection under the Data Protection Act, but you cannot seek in one act to amend another act. So that deletion was very important and to set the record straight and as per the law. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to support, knowing very well, Chair, this is a startup when somebody is starting his or her business. And you can imagine how one can turn out and be malicious to just mess up that business. And so I know we have very many young people who are doing startups, and this will help them to protect not just their data, but to protect their businesses from AI. And in this house, we must be very critical in now dealing with misuse of technology and how people are using it. We must put in a law to bring a consent to say, before you use my face or anything, you must have gotten consent from that person. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Zamzam, are you on this?
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Chair. Na mimi niweze pia kukokoteza kuwa kuweza kuprotect data ya wale ambao wanafanya mambo kwenye mtandao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, lazima tuweze kupitisha sheria hii tuikokoteze kabisa. Mheshimiwa Speaker, vijana wetu wanafanya mambo yao ya content creation, unapata umeibiwa, mwingine anachukua, kwa hivyo uhalisia wake unapotea. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa hiyo itakuwa pia rahisi kumjua nani mwanzilishi wa kitu fulani na inakuwa wepesi kumfikia. Mheshimiwa Speaker, wengine wameitumia vibaya, wametumia picha za watu vibaya, kwa hiyo mtu itakuwa anaweza kujulikana kuwa huyu ndo halisia lo anzisha hichi kitu, ama huyu ndo ambaye anaweza kubenefit na kitu chake ambacho ameanzisha mwenyewe. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Chair.
Thank you very much. Then we'll put the question. I'll put the question that clause 34 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 34 is amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clauses. New clause 4A.
I propose the question that new clause 4A. Okay, before I go there, we will call the mover to move the second reading of the new clause. Honorable Keitany.
Madam Speaker, propose that the new clause 4A be read a second time.
I propose the question that new clause 4A be now read a second time. I therefore put the question that new clause 4A be now read a second time. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that the new clause 4A be part of the bill. I now put the question that new clause 4A be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 27A.
Mover to move second reading.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I propose that new clause 27A be read a second time.
Honorable Miriam, it's also good to explain what it is about. Take
Thank
the
you.
moment to explain to members what it is about.
Thank you. And this new clause seeks to amend or to outline the benefits to be given to incubators and accelerators as they do their business. Thank you.
Very well. I therefore propose the question that new clause 27A be now read a second time. Honorable Elachi.
Chair, this is one clause we need to support because of our young people. And Chair, there's a program that is coming up very soon, Nyota, for young people. And this is a program that supports incentives. And I want to tell young people, when this program comes, please apply. It will be online applied so that you get directly, without going through a group or anything, you get directly support, and it's a World Bank program. Please monitor it and make sure. So this is one thing that is very, very fantastic in this bill for our young people to start doing something. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I also want to support this particular amendment. And Chair, for example, Part A of that amendment, where it talks about negotiations for tax concessions. Chair, let me give the House an example. If you speak to some of the young people who do photography, the amount of money that they spend on buying that particular equipment is equivalent to buying like a vehicle like a Vitz. So therefore, when they get tax concessions for this, it actually does give them a boost. And for us as a House, we really need to support this because as a country, the majority of people that we have in this country are young people. And we need to encourage them to have their own startups instead of waiting to be employed. So, Honorable Chair, I do support these particular two amendments because they're really going to boost the startups. Thank you.
Zamzam.
Mheshimiwa Chair, na mimi niweze kuunga mkono. Vijana hawana ajira na wakati mwingi wanajitafutia ajira zao wenyewe, Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini unapata yale mambo ya ushuru yanaweza kuwaathiri sana kwa sababu yale maekezo ameweka pale yanapata ushuru kwa mwingi sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo tukiweza kurekebisha hii, inaweza kuwa wakipewa ushuru inaanza katika yani kama amepata profits ama amepata ile profit katika kiwango fulani aweza kutoa ushuru, lakini kwa wengine ambao bado yuko chini wanaweza kuwa exempted, Mheshimiwa Chair, na wakaweza kufanya biashara yao bila bugdha, Mheshimiwa Chair, ili waweze kuinua uchumi wa taifa. Asante sana.
Nyikao.
Thank you. I rise to support this amendment. Chair, this probably may be the most important amendment in the whole of this. When you are having startups, and it means you are starting something new. And if you look at A, you may be using unique machinery that actually has not been in the tax schedule. So then you really need to negotiate that. And if you look at B, the whole idea of searching anything new is doing research. So it is that research grant, and this is a grant and not a loan. This is what will support. I support this amendment, Madam Speaker.
I will therefore propose the question that new clause 27A be part of the bill. It is important before I put the question, no. I will put the question that new clause 27A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I therefore propose the question that new clause 27A be part of the bill. Before I put the global question, it's important to note that Honorable KJ had a proposed amendment, which has been dropped. He's not in the House. So I will put the global question that the new clause 27A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 29A.
Mover. This was proposed to be moved by Honorable KJ. It will also be dropped.
New clause 30A.
Mover, the chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Propose that the new clause 30A be read a second time, and the justification for it is that this amendment aims to safeguard innovations and intellectual property rights of startups, because many of these startups don't get this kind of incentive. So this will help to protect their rights.
Very well. I propose the question that new clause 30A be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 30A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new clause 30A be part of the bill. Honorable Oundo.
Chair, as the Vice Chair of the committee has pointed out, these innovators needs to be protected. Copywriting, fake, and all those kind of things. And that's why now this particular bill is ensuring that Kenya Industrial Property Institute takes all measures within its powers to make sure that the rights, the intellectual property rights of the innovators is protected. So this is now a challenge to the young people, even the old geezers like us who can innovate, that innovate as a startup, and therefore you will get protected by law. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, I do support this particular amendment. And Chair, I just want to remind the House about a particular issue that we did have between us and Japan when we were the attempt to have intellectual property on the Kyondo from Kenya. And I remember at that particular time, the issue that we had as a country, it was because they said of the novelty and us having, being able to actually protect our intellectual property. And so, Honorable Chair, this is one of those things that is really going to help, especially people who come up with innovations, so that this is protected, and also including the intellectual property that is based on online. Honorable Speaker, another example I'll give is an example of like ChatGPT. You cannot, again, also as a person, even if you have the same intervention, be able to use the same name. And this is because the owners of that particular online platform were able to have intellectual property for this. So, Honorable Speaker, this is one particular clause that is very progressive and that is going to really be dynamic for the people who have startups and to be able to have intellectual property being given the necessary support as per clause 34A Part E, for them to be able to even register. Honorable Chair, also, one other very important aspect of this particular clause is that in Part B, it says that there's going to be training in intellectual property requirements. Because a lot of people have startups, they have this particular intellectual property, but they do not know the procedures and process of them being able to actually have legal setups for these particulars. So, Honorable Chair, yes, I do support this particular clause. I thank you.
Honorable Cynthia Muge.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Looking at the proposed introduction, Honorable Speaker, I must say that in a world where we are now getting to know the meaning of intellectual property, and it is becoming of interest to many people, I am particularly happy with this amendment, Honorable Speaker, at Part D, which is speaking about how to expedite intellectual property registration procedures. Honorable Speaker, the people who are going to use this platform majorly are young people, and they are people who have demonstrated in the past that they are a little bit impatient. The provision in the law, Honorable Speaker, that we are speaking to the issue of expedition of the property registration is very progressive for me, and I hope that it is going to aid the issues of intellectual property and trademarks, Honorable Speaker, for the young people who are willing to invest in this particular sector. So I support it in totality, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Elachi.
Chair, this is one clause that is going to also help the young people. You imagine now, a man I respect so much, Elon Musk, coming in with what he's coming in. And you can imagine at that time how we will be off fiber, we will be off on the satellite. If you don't have such a clause to ensure that you protect the copyrights, the trade secrets, and many other things, valuable assets for young people, we will have a big challenge of plagiarism from each other. So this we support because of the young people, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Zamzam.
Mheshimiwa Chair, na mimi niweze kuunga marekebisho haya, Mheshimiwa Chair, nikiweza kutia mfano kwa wale wa Masai ambao wamekuwa wakitengeza bidhaa zao halisia hapa Kenya, lakini unapata bidhaa zinanunuliwa na mataifa mengine, kisha wanakuja wanaweka ile label yao, wanaturegeshea hapa kwa bei ya juu sana, kama ambao hao ndo asilia waliotengeza Mheshimiwa Chair. Kwa hiyo tukipitisha hii clause itakuwa imesaidia wengi ambao wana uhalisia kutengeza vitu vyao ili waweze kupata pesa zao kama vile inavyotakikana, Mheshimiwa Chair, na bila kuharibiwa. Yani wajua mtu anaanza na kuwa mbunifu ye mwenyewe, kisha yale ambayo ameyabuni mtu mwingine anakuja anayabeba kama yake. Mheshimiwa Chair, inakuwa wale ambao wanabuni huku katika Kenya wanakuwa wanadhalilishwa sana. Utapata hata kuna yule ambaye anajaribu kutoa mziki, utapata miziki ya mataifa mengine yamekuwa yale mambo ya copyright, lakini huku kwetu mtu ametoa mziki mzuri lakini unachukuliwa na mtu mwingine kisha na umiliki kama ambao ni wake, wakati alisia aliotunga mwanzo alikuwa ni mwingine. Mheshimiwa Chair, kwa hiyo mimi naunga mkono kuweza kuwa protect katika hii clause. Asante sana.
Finally on this, Honorable Geshimo.
Honorable Chair, I support this amendment. Actually, this obligates the Kenya National, the agency, to make sure that all the startups have been taken through training so that they can be able to register their intellectual property with KIPI. And this will prevent them being taken advantage by the bigwigs. We remember the issue of the M-Pesa, where young people are taken advantage of by the main player, Safaricom. We also remember there are some young people during COVID who are doing bends that are usually done by multinationals, and they were also being taken advantage of. So this amendment will actually sort out those issues that actually they will be able to obligate the agency to take them through training and also register them with KIPI for them to reap the intended benefits from their innovations. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Allow me to put the question that the new clause 30A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New part 5A, comprising of new clauses 32A and 32B.
Mover.
Madam Speaker, propose that new part 5A be read a second time with amendments on clause 32A, and the amendment is by deleting the words cooperative development appearing in the subclause 1 and substituting therefore the word startup. And the rationale is to make reference to the correct name of the fund being established, that is the startup fund. The rationale for this new clause is to provide funding for commercialization of startups.
All right. I will propose the question that the new clause 5A be now read a second time. Member for Funyula.
This is a progressive amendment, and I want to thank the Vice Chair for noticing the typo that talked about corporate development fund instead of startup fund. I just want to let the people of Kenya know that there are also funds for this startup is from the government, county government, and the key players in this sector is Kenya National Innovation Agency and Kenya Industrial Estates. So whatever they need, any money for any kind of work, for any kind of thing, this is where to look for the money. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I will propose the question that the new clause, I will now put the question that the new clause 5A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new clause 5A be part of the bill. I put the question that new clause 5A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 34A.
Mover.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Propose that the new clause 34A be read a second time, and the justification for this is this amendment seeks to provide a penal provision in order for it to act as a deterrent of falsifying information. Thank you.
I therefore propose the question that new clause 34A be now read a second time. Honorable Member for Nandi.
Honorable Chair, if you look at clause 34A2, it has a very good provision, Honorable Chair, that does not talk about only the penalty, but it also says that in addition to any penalty referred to in the subsection 1, the court may order or prohibit the doing of any act to stop a continuing contravention. Honorable Chair, if you have noted, when things go to the court, people sometimes continue to earn or continue to benefit from the wrongs that they have done as the wheels of justice take time. So, Honorable Speaker, the subset 34A2 is a very progressive provision that it will be able to help in prohibition of or any continuing contravention of the same. So I support this amendment, Honorable Chair.
Very well. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Chair. Chair also support this particular amendment because from the onset, what we are trying to do is ensure that we are maintaining good practice and due process and good order, so that anybody who tries to do any contraventions or even tries to get startups into getting into businesses or get into innovations that are not actually legal, they can actually be discouraged from the offset, especially when they see what the consequences for that are. So I therefore support this amendment. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mizigi.
Thank you very much, Chair, for this opportunity, and Happy New Year to everyone. I also want to support this amendment because looking at it, it's going to be a mitigating a measure to a lot of information that most of the time is controversial and brings a lot of complication when it comes to matters giving penalties. So I support.
Honorable Nikau.
I rise, Chair, to support this. This is actually very important, particularly relating to what we have passed on intellectual property, particularly TRIPS, trade-related intellectual property rights. That is actually where a lot of people lose out, because you will have those trade-related rights and there's no punishment that goes with them. So I think this will go a long way in supporting that.
Zamzam.
Chair, hii section 2 naona niweze kuiunga mkono kwa sababu tunajua koti zetu huwa zinachukua muda sana kutoa uamuzi, na pengine kama mtu ameshtaki na bado biashara yake inazidi kudhurika akingoja matokeo ya koti, afadhali waweze kuweka ile sheria ya kuwa huyo mtu pia asimamishwe kama bado anafuatia kesi, Mheshimiwa Chair. Kwa hiyo mimi naiunga mkono hii.
Yeshimo.
Chair, every law should not be made in vain, and in proper drafting, every law should have a penalty clause. The initial bill missed out on that, and that is why the introduction of the penalty clause in this bill is very, very important, whereby maybe regulations that will follow thereafter will also maybe cross-check, cross-refer in terms of the penalties. That is why this amendment is very crucial. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I therefore put the question that new clause 34A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that the new clause 34A be part of the bill. I put the question that new clause 34A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, before we proceed to clause 2, I would like that we revisit clause 27A after consultation with the chair, and we'll just redo it again so that we include 27A, 27B, and 27C to be on record.
New clause 27A, 27B, and 27C.
I propose the question that clauses, it's moving, yeah. It's a new clause, so mover, kindly move with clarity on the 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I propose that the new clause 27A, 27B, and 27C be read a second time,